All right, let's dive into something that sounds straight out of science fiction, but is actually happening as we speak. We're talking about the quest to build an AI that can remember, learn, and act, not just by crunching data, but by taking its cues from the most incredible computer we know of, the human brain.
Just think about that for a second. What if an AI could remember not just facts and figures, but experiences? An AI that actually learns from its past mistakes and can plan for the future, all because it has a memory that works, fundamentally, like yours does. This very question is driving some of the most exciting AI research on the planet right now.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by crossing what we're calling the memory bridge to understand why this is all so important. Then we'll peek at the brain's blueprint, the original masterwork. After that, we'll see how AI's new memory is being built, compare biology versus bytes, and finally, we'll get into why the future of forgetting might be just as crucial as remembering. Okay, first up, the memory bridge. Here's the thing. For an AI to be truly intelligent, it needs way more than just access to a giant database. It needs a way to connect what happened in the past to what it should do next. And that connection, that's memory. So let's break that down. Memory isn't just a dusty old filing cabinet in your head, right? It's this incredible bridge connecting our past to our future. It's how we pull up old experiences to figure out new situations. This is literally the foundation of how we learn and make decisions. And it's got to be the foundation for the AIs we're trying to build too. And there is a really clear flow of knowledge happening here. It all starts with cognitive neuroscience, basically studying how our own brains do their magic. Then, researchers take those insights, those biological principles, and apply them to large language models. And what's the end goal? To create genuinely autonomous agents that can learn and operate all on their own. It's a direct pipeline from biology to AI. So, if you're going to build something new, you might as well learn from the best, right? Let's take a look at the brain's blueprint. Evolution has had billions of years to fine-tune this thing. It's ridiculously complex, super efficient, and incredibly powerful. It's no wonder AI developers are treating it like the ultimate instruction manual. Now, to be clear, nobody's trying to build a literal, biological brain out of silicon. That's not the point. The real goal is to capture the essence of how our memory works. Researchers are trying to bridge that gap between the squishy world of biology and the rigid world of computer science, turning the core principles of how we remember into actual working code. And that is the perfect lead-in to our next part, AI's new memory. This is where the apprentice, the AI, starts learning from the master. We're moving from the biological inspiration to the nitty-gritty engineering of how you actually build an artificial mind. And I really want to stress, this isn't some far-off futuristic idea. This is happening right now. Scientists are actively designing what they call efficient memory workflows for these AI agents. They're taking what they've learned from neuroscience to build systems that can encode, store, and retrieve information in a way that feels a lot more like how we do it, and frankly, is a lot more effective. Okay, so we've got the brain's blueprint and the AI's attempt to copy it. But how do they actually stack up against each other? Let's put them side by side in biology versus bytes. If you look at the basic life cycle, it's kind of fascinating how they parallel each other, at least on the surface. It all starts with encoding. For us, that's how we form a memory from something that happens. For an AI, it's processing and coding data. Then you've got storage. Our brains have short-term and long-term stores. AIs have things like vector databases. And finally, retrieval. We recall a memory. The AI runs a query. The steps look similar, but the mechanics underneath, whole different story. And it's not just how memory works, but how we even classify it. For us, our memories are sorted by things like, how long do they last? Is it short-term or long-term? What's the content? Is it a fact I learned, or is it a personal experience? But for an AI, it's much more technical. It's all about data formats and how you access the information. You could say it's function over feeling. But this is where you see the biggest difference. Our brains store memories using something called synaptic plasticity. That means the actual physical connections between our neurons change and get stronger when we learn something new. Our brain is a living, evolving network. An AI, it uses external databases. It's kind of like the difference between a garden that's constantly growing and changing versus a library where you're just adding new books to a fixed set of shelves. All right, for our final section, we're going to talk about something you probably weren't expecting, the future of forgetting. See, it turns out that building a perfect, flawless memory might not even be the right goal. Forgetting is actually a super important part of human intelligence. So, what in the world does that mean for AI? So, what's on the horizon? Well, the to-do list for researchers is huge. First up, creating multimodal memory systems, so an AI can connect what it sees with what it hears, with what it reads. Then, using that memory to learn advanced skills, not just from programming, but from real experience. And of course, the big one, security. If an AI has a memory, that memory can be attacked or manipulated. And finally, how do we even know if we're succeeding? We need totally new ways to measure and benchmark an AI's memory. Every single one of these is a massive field of study in itself. And all of this leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. This research is pushing AI toward having a perfect, flawless memory. But so much of our own humanity is wrapped up in the beautiful imperfections of our memories, the emotions, the biases, the happy accidents, even the things we forget. So if and when an AI's memory becomes perfect, what will that say about us? What will it even mean to be human?